So I just made an analysis of Ursula von der Leyen's body language in her encounter with Donald Trump, in which she was quite anxious about the details of the monumental trade agreement between the United States and the European Union. And well, let's say that it's not going well for the European Union, and that's what happens when you basically destroy your private sector for reasons or guilt or whatever. And Trump made sure to give very solid remarks about two things. First, windmills, and second, illegal migrants or illegal immigration. Let's see what does he what is his opinion on this.
Well, I say two things to Europe. Stop the windmills. You're ruining your countries. I really mean it. It's so sad. You fly over and you see these windmills all over the place, ruining your beautiful fields and valleys, and killing your birds, and if they're stuck in the ocean, ruining your oceans. Stop the windmills. And I mean, there's a couple of things I could say, but on immigration, you better get your act together. Or you're not going to have Europe anymore. You got to get your act together.
You're not going to get, what's that words?
Get your act together. Or you're not going to have Europe.
You're not going to have Europe anymore. And I couldn't agree more with Donald Trump. And this is for any country. Well, not only, any country that is letting all unfettered immigration. You're not going to have your country anymore. It is a sad reality. It is a fact that is happening all over the place. By the way, Vance said something similar directly about Germany not long ago.
If you have a country like Germany, where you have another few million immigrants come in from countries that are totally culturally incompatible with Germany, then it doesn't matter what I think about Europe. Germany will have killed itself, and I hope they don't do that because I love Germany and I want Germany to thrive.
Yeah, maybe the Germans would also like to thrive, but the guilt is hard. They keep voting for their leaders, and the leaders keep allowing all those people in. Those were the people who led Angela Merkel right there, and I'm still. I wouldn't blame only Angela Merkel on this, but she was fundamental for what is going on with Europe. That was like the first step. Also, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. I want to thank President Trump personally for his personal commitment and leadership to achieve this breakthrough. He is a tough negotiator, but he is also a deal maker. She wanted to make it seem like, oh, well, thanks to President Trump. But the fact is that the European Union, by this point, has no leverage. And the tariffs that Trump had imposed on them were cut in half, and left 15% into place. Well, it was due to the fact that right now the European Union is not in its best shape. In fact, it's thanks to all those regulations that is, it's been downhill for a while.
I want to thank President Trump personally for his personal commitment and leadership to achieve this breakthrough. He's a tough negotiator, but he is also a deal maker.
There was a hint of a smile at the end. He was trying to smile just a bit. Yeah, it's the German smile. I understand. Okay, she's German, right? I found interesting this post by Peter Levels. I remember posting 2 years ago about the U.S. and Europe's extreme divergence of GDP per capita. Europe was rapidly getting poorer relative to the U.S. and Asia. For a lot of Europeans, the response then was, why does this matter? Why do we have to be richer every year? We prefer to live, not work. You know, the European mind. My answer was to simply look into history to see what happens to countries or regions that become weaker than their surroundings. Almost without exception, they get 1. Invaded, 2. Colonized or become vassal states. If Europe was richer every year, had software and hardware the world actually used, Ursula von der Leyen would have had something to bargain with, aka strategic leverage. But by regulating any economic activity out of Europe, she had nothing, and that's how we're here now. An unfair trade deal that she had no power to deny. Europe has now become a weak vassal state, a plaything for the world's superpowers, US and China. An unfair treatment like this is only the start. Sad to find out because that is the loss of economics. You cannot fool the loss of economics for that long. Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Union, describes how negotiation with President Trump goes. She sounds winded and like she got ripped to shreds during the negotiations. And she did. Trump just basically made the European Union our vassal state when it comes to trade. Europe got nothing. Listen to how winded and defeated Ursula sounds.
When I saw you at the start, I thought, doesn't look like a happy couple, you two sitting there. So how were the negotiations actually in this last hour? Was it difficult, or was it actually just rubber stamping which already had been prepared?
No, it was very difficult because we started far apart from each other. It was tough, fair, but it was tough, and therefore, rightly so, you saw the tension at the beginning. So we had to work hard to come to a common position, and till the very end, as always in negotiations, you don't know whether you'll find the landing point, the landing zone at the very end, or whether it crashes. So it was tough, but in the end, as we were successful, it's good and it's satisfactory.
It's impressive when you see a politician, and especially a female politician, who should have a better way, a natural way with words, but it's something normal that women have a better way with words than men, and a female politician having trouble trying to spin something. You know that she's having trouble trying to spin this in some kind of, benefit or something positive for the European Union. And in the end, she can just say that the negotiations were tough because we're this separated. I think she meant to say that we were this separated. And that's why the United States had so much leverage over the European Union, and she had to concede whatever she did with that agreement. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen highlights President Trump's brilliant tariffs strategy, which led to today's deal. We should not forget where we would have been on August 1st. We would have been at 30%, and now they are 15%. Oh, what a bargain.
So I think we should not forget where we would have been on the 1st of August. We would have been at 30%. And it would have been much more difficult to get down now to the 15%. 15% is certainly a challenge for some, but we should not forget it keeps us the access to the American market, and what we are also doing intensively is diversifying to other regions of the world, and this opens up new markets, potential new markets. Indonesia, for example, is huge. It's 250 million people.
All right, you can see you can see that she's not convinced. You can see that she's not convinced. Oh, it's a huge market. Indonesia, 250 million people. All right. But we know it's not about the amount of people, right, Ursula? We know that. But again, I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. Don't forget to download my free bottle language tips in the description of this video, and like and subscribe here in The Power Pundit. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm The Power Pundit. Much love and bliss.